up, everyone? It's your girl, Enya Phoenix. Welcome back to another episode of Parlor Talk, the conversation behind the hair.
With Flip.
Yes, with Flip.
Hi, guys.
I'm thinking about cutting my hair.
Oh, you are?
I'm going to flip my proverbial hair. Okay. Can we flip it?
Hey, guys, this is Dee Dominguez. Welcome to Parlor Talk. I'm going to get back to you on that one, that whole cutting hair. Welcome. We have a great show for you guys today. Like Enya Phoenix said, the conversation behind the hair. We are going to have some great conversations today. I would like to introduce our very special guest, Myrtle October.
Hi, this is Myrtle October.
Hi.
Hi.
So you want to cut your hair? Why you want to cut your hair?
Because it's Florida. It's too hot.
Well, I can see why. I like my hair short because of that. Because it's a good length that I can pick it up, but it's still something that you can put down.
You can put it in a ponytail or keep it down. So you want to get to that length?
Yeah. It's too hot.
Why you don't want to braid it and put it in a ponytail every day? You want something that you could just shake and go. Okay.
Yeah.
But I don't see you with short hair though. I like your long hair. Because how you gonna flip it? How you gonna do the conversation behind the hair?
What if she did it just to that length that's right there in the front?
I mean, I can, if it's like.
Okay.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Myrtle, welcome. Thank you for coming to Parlor Talk. I appreciate you accepting this invitation. I had a blast when you invited me to your radio show.
Thank you.
And you gave me the opportunity to promote my event. Thank you so much for that. This is exactly why Parlor Talk was created. It was to create a space for women to support one another. When I first started my nonprofit around here, I was told that women don't support each other in Southwest Florida. And at the beginning, I saw, there was some truth to that. There was some truth to that.
Yeah.
But I cold-heartedly took it a personal mission to change it.
Good.
Because I feel that even if we're in the same industry, even if in the same work field, even if we're trying to do the same thing, there's room for everybody to eat.
Mm-hmm.
And what's meant for you is for you, and nobody can take that away. So by sharing other people's stuff and by helping other people, that will never trump your own growing.
That's right.
So I first met you when you were acting in Sisters.
Oh, that's right.
I went
that was
there.
your first time meeting me.
I went there to support my friend Julissa because I love her and I think she's amazing.
She is.
And I
This is
was,
my daughter.
yes, I was
in the show.
amazed and in awe of your talent.
Thank you.
I had never met you till that day, and that day, like the whole
I
show.
saw you on my Facebook like a friend or something.
Yes,
before. How did we connect that first way? Because I felt like we had met somehow through Facebook.
When I started my nonprofit organization, I've always been like my social media was always private.
Okay.
But somebody recommended that I make it public and start adding people in the community that I wanted to collab with.
Okay.
And you were friends with Julissa. I love Julissa. I'm like, okay, so this is somebody that I can follow.
So it was all around the same time when I started with the play. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? What do you do? What are your businesses? What are your talents besides being an amazing actress and singer? I witnessed that firsthand.
That was my first time in a very long time. The last time I had acted, I was 21.
Really?
I was 21. And I don't mind saying my age, I'm 42. So it's a long time.
We look good in our 40s. Thank you very much.
20 years later, similar show, everything. Like I was in a play called Sisters in the City.
Okay.
In Syracuse, New York. And we had done that with the Paul Robeson Performing Arts Theater. And that was my first time. I was working with one of my colleagues. She was my boss, basically, but she never liked me to call her my boss. But Andrea Moore, we worked together. And she was like, first we started off just doing jazz sets in the community because one of the things she was a singer. She did Sade songs. Sade.
Oh, I love
always messed that
Sade.
up. But she always did Sade sets, and they would have jazz nights just to see her. So she invited me to the stage one night because she heard me singing her at work. And she was like, I want somebody to come up here. She's not going to be too happy about this, but I want her to come up here and sing with.
She put you on
She
the
put you on the
spot.
spot.
She put me on the spot. I did a Christian song that night. I sung, and we just became the bestest of friends ever since. She actually lives in Florida now, too. And eventually, I guess this play was coming up, Paul Robeson Performing Arts Theater, and Mr. Roland, which I used to get him mixed up with Paul Robeson Art Theater. He's like, girl, my name ain't no Robeson, my name is Roland. My name
Don't mess up people's names.
And her mother reminded me of Maya Angelou. So I had come into this new art community I wasn't familiar with there because I don't remember singing really. I just remember singing at churches and funerals and cookouts. Anytime somebody, can you sing for us? Can you sing for this event? Can you sing? And I would just sing.
And that was in New York in your 20s?
Upstate New York, yes.
Okay.
And I was not a paid singer at that time. I had never been paid for singing. I just did it because I felt like I was supposed to, and I loved it. But I was so, if my aunt or uncle, if they said sing, you sing.
You sing.
I don't care what it is. You just go and you sing. If you're the one that can sing in the family. And they'd be like, so they'll say, sing or whatever. So apparently I sing all the time. I don't even realize I'm singing. So I think if someone hears me and they don't know me, they think I'm singing to get someone's attention. But in fact, that's just me. I sing all the time. My mom said when I was a baby, I get up out of my crib, not out of the crib, but stand up and start singing.
Wow.
She said I would sing all the time, and I whistled. Whistle. She said when I was little, I would whistle.
So you just have rhythm all over your veins.
I don't know. So she said I always sing, and that's kind of, I hum all the time, more now. I mean, around the house, if I'm cleaning, cooking, it comes out. If I'm talking to somebody and I think of a song, I sing. I actually found that I got in less trouble when I sing. Because one of the things she would always say to me is that she'd sing the song, you talk too much. You never shut up. You just talk. You just talk too much. And I always thought I talk too much. So I'm always like trying to rush through my sentences because I still think I have a little trauma from that time. Because she said I talk too much. She was a great mom. Don't get me wrong. She might hear this. I'm definitely going to share it with her. I love you, mommy. Yes, she did say that.
We had a Mother's Day special, and we had all the three of us had our moms here.
Aww.
My mom threw me under the bus.
Oh. They do.
She tried to say that I was lazy when I was a teenager, and I looked at her, I said, I need to call my sister. You lying right now. I still need to do that.
You still got to score this.
I did. I called my sister, and I said, could you believe, and she saw the episode, and she calls me, she's like, your mom did you dirty.
She put you out there.
But I didn't mean to cut you off. So
no, you're fine.
Was your mother a singer as well?
She could sing, but she wasn't a singer. She could sing, though. We would all sing at church. They'd be called up to sing solos. My mom is still called up at her church to sing solo. In fact, if they don't call her, it might be trouble in the land. The older ladies at this point, they're like, get me on the program, do something, So she does teachings, and she does prayers, and she does the Zoom, and she goes to the physical church. So she does sing sometimes. And growing up, we did. I was in a choir, and there was this young lady. Gosh, I should know her name, but she's always in my head been my mentor. And I actually talked to her maybe a few years ago when my father-in-law was passing away, and my mom connected us. And she, I just got a chance to thank her because I remember the song that she said, "You sing really well." Now, again, I don't know other than I might have just been singing without realizing I was singing because you're like, I didn't know you could sing, and I'm like, okay. So I sing unconsciously sometimes because it's where I build my consciousness, where I can connect with God, where I can connect with myself. It's almost like a walking meditation,
nice,
which I think is pretty cool. So it calms me, it keeps me grounded. So I'll hum a tune of something, all the time.
Is singing something that you're actively doing right now as a career?
So I get asked that a lot, and a lot of times people seem a little frustrated with me, but the thing with singing is I love to sing, but I also have this mission in my head that I have to do, and I felt like when I was doing actively singing, I was singing so often that I didn't have time to do things that I needed to be doing too. So I figure if I'm going to go out to sing, I was advised, and I don't know if this is good or bad advice, but to put my price up so that way, if in fact I'm supposed to be at that event, they will pay the price for me to be there. Because yes, I'm not.
That sounds like very good advice.
Right, yeah. I'm not famous here. I'm not known here. There's probably better singers than me here, which is fine. But I was getting asked to do things, and there was a time where I was with a band called Just Us, and we would go around singing everywhere. And a lot of those guys moved. I really loved that band. I mean, I called me and Matt, his wife. I called them my aunt and uncle still, but they moved to Chicago.
Oh wow.
So. And then I think that we just all kind of went our separate ways. And sometimes they'll reach out via email or something like that, or text, or Instagram, or not Instagram. They're old, so they'll DM me or something and say, "How you doing? You still singing?" Or "That was a nice show you did on whatever," because I was doing some singing here and there. But no, I don't really feel like it's an active career. Of course, it's always in my pocket and in my hands if I need to
It's
utilize
always an
it.
option.
Heck yeah, I will use the singing to, I feel like I'm a serial entrepreneur. I do whatever I don't want to waste the talents God has given me. So whatever I have, I'm going to use it at some capacity. And if someone needs it or wants it in their event and it's worth my time, and I don't mean that in a negative, meany kind of way.
If it means something to you.
Yes, if it connects with me, I can work well with the person. I think I've been termed as difficult. I haven't actually heard someone say that, but I get the intuition that's been said about me. And why I say that is because I'm very intuitive, and I believe in most of what I'm seeing and hearing within the God that I serve and my connections in prayer time or whatever, and sometimes from conversations I'm in.
Okay.
So with that, I know that the price thing has been an issue. In fact, when I've been asked to sing and I share that with them, I say, hey, but the cool thing is I'm also threat to thriving. If I sing for you, we can, just as long as it's in paperwork wise that it's a donation of my time, then we can work together in that way, because I've been walking around like I'm doing a hobby. This is an actual business. I need to operate like one. It's only this year I've taken myself seriously enough to do it. So I can't say someone else hasn't. I have had taken the moment and say, okay, that's enough. You got to stop just doing things. You have to have intention behind everything
And
you're
purpose.
doing. Or what's the point of it? Are you really a hobby? Are you really just doing this just to be doing it? Yes, you want to make people feel great and good and all that stuff, which I try to pride myself on kindness. I can be direct, but I'm kind, and I feel like I owe people that around me in general. Like I don't really owe you anything. You don't owe me anything, but one thing that's free is kindness. I can be that.
Kindness, respect.
And a lot of times you don't have time to respect somebody. So kindness to me is just like to really, if
Direct.
nothing else, I can at least be kind. I may not like you or respect you, but I can be kind to you.
Yeah. Doesn't
because
cost
it's
anything.
right, because the
almost like
respect is
being
earned.
like cordial.
Yeah.
Right, and I try not to be too cordial. I don't like when people are too cordial with me, so I'm very mindful of the disproportionate belief of kindness and cordial are the same. I don't think they're the same. I think that I'll give you an example. What I think is kind, but it might be too much, and I do recognize that I can be a bit much, which is fine because I accept me now.
Yes.
I did not for a long time. For a long time,
You know who you are, and there's a lot of
Right.
people walking around here that don't know who they are. They don't know their self-worth, and
Right.
they get easily redirected. So the fact that you know yourself, you know your worth, you don't need to even be apologetic about
I
that.
know,
No.
and it's
At
one of
all.
those things where I was like, Myrtle, you just got to be you, because I had tried to change the overthinking, the analytical stuff. I am better at not doing that with every single thing, but I have to be conscious and aware of the fact that I am the overthinker naturally, and it's been a
That's
blessing
me.
to me.
That's her.
It's been
That's
a
me.
blessing to me. So I'm like, why am I suppressing something that's awesome and a blessing? Now, I get it in a moment. It may be too much for somebody, and I can hold back and keep it up here more. That I can do, but will I change that? No, I like it.
And that comes with
It's
maturity,
a blessing.
too.
Yeah. So I'll say what kindness is for me. So I had bought some tickets and realized I couldn't make the event. It was a sponsorship, and I'm not gonna say names or events or anything, because I don't ever want to put someone out there to seem like they're not organized or whatever the case. So I bought a sponsorship. I hadn't heard anything. It was like a month and a half, and we were almost down to the notch. And I'm like, I don't even know how many of these things to do. And I'm not a big business yet, so I don't just have swag hanging around. And I wanted to just be prepared, and I just felt like I wasn't prepared. So what I did was I said, you know what? I'm going to have to cancel out this on my end. However, I also saw I couldn't really get a refund. I said, let me find someone else who'd be willing to take this. So to me, that was me being supportive of another business. I won't say woman-owned or non-woman owned. It's just another business,
Another local
person.
business. Yeah.
I know what it takes to have an event. Like you gonna put an event together and somebody backs out and it was kind of close.
Girl,
it wasn't
trust
like
me, I
it
know.
was 2 weeks, maybe a week, maybe. But I was just like, eventually, I'm reaching out to them more than they reach out. I'm like, I don't want to do this. That's how I felt, and I'm learning that I don't have to do everything just because I think because everybody's saying it's going to be great, or just because I even think it's awesome based on the promotions or whatever the case. So in my head, it was too much. I had a lot of other things going on. I said, let me find somebody else that I know could do it, and I thought I could either give it to them if they can't afford it or pay me back or right away, I just kind of took it as a loss. It's like whatever.
Yeah.
The person
A donation.
Right. They called themselves refunding me, and it was like $25 of the $200 I had spent, and I'm like, never mind, it's okay. And then they ended up paying. The person ended up paying for the event as well as I had already paid for. It was just too confusing. I thought I just pray. I said, God, let this be a blessing to them.
Yeah.
Fold it, whatever. Because I realize sometimes it doesn't. You're not trying to not operate in excellence. Who would do that on purpose to themselves? Yeah. So in my head, it was more like, let me just do the right thing and back out and see if I can help her find someone else.
Yeah.
Now, unbeknownst to her, she didn't know the work it took to do that. Right.
Yes.
It is not her business, really.
Yeah.
I felt that was the right thing to do for me as a person, and it just made sense to me, and it felt good. Not really the whole time, but anyway.
So what is your business? Tell us about your business.
Threat to Thriving is an organization formed to reduce recidivism. Growing up, I had a brother 8 years older than me, and he started out like 16, getting into trouble. First, he would come home late and do things my mother didn't like, of course. And then eventually he started just hanging with the wrong crowd, and they were getting in trouble. And then he started getting in trouble, and it was just on and on and on and on, over and over and over again. And then finally he started going to jail. And then we're like, first time he went to jail, we're all crying. I can remember us like on the floor going crazy because what we saw was jail, and you know, you just don't want to go there. Nobody wants to go there. What city was this in? Upstate New York.
Upstate New York.
Yeah, so it was one of those things where I was just like, okay. It's always been on my heart. While I was in grad school and in undergrad, I always felt like my mission was bigger than just going to school. Like, if I'm going to go to school, what am I going for? What is it that I need to do? Because working at the Salvation Army in upstate New York with my friend Andrea, it was so good. Like, I just loved what we did because we were keeping kids out of trouble. We had 3 group homes. One of the group homes were for kids who parents just kind of didn't want them anymore, which is really sad because they had disabilities, some kind of disability that kept them from keeping up with their family. Yeah. So they moved them into a group home where things were a little bit less challenging for them to be, and then be with people who are like them. So not everybody's reasoning was not like positive, I guess. And then we had a group home, not mine, Salvation Army Barnabas Center. The other group home was all about teens running away. Basically, if they just had to run away, get a lot of the reasons. Sometimes the reason were great. They're being hit on by their parents, beat, and things like that. And then the other group home was a women's shelter. And so I worked as a case aide in the main office, but we rotated through all those work environments. And the main part I really loved was the drop-in center at night when the kids would get out of school. Instead of them having to be out in the corner doing stuff, they could come to the drop-in center. That was always the best. We taught them to cook, life skills. I mean, it was awesome. They had case management. It was the best job I had in my whole life. And I just always wanted to feel like I could recreate that somewhere. And I do imagine like future down the road somewhere that being created by somebody, if not me. Well, hopefully me. But if not,
So is that part of your program now? Is that part of your...
So you got to start somewhere. So the small part of what I'm doing, and when I say small, I mean it's not as big as the Barnabas Center and the 3 homes around it, right? But the prevention and reentry program pieces are right now conversation, like focus groups at the libraries. Last one I had was at the Southwest Florida Enterprise Center. I did one at the Collaboratory for that day where everyone was talking, and they didn't put recidivism on there. I was really sad about that. But
for the people that, I'm sorry,
please, no.
Can you please tell us what exactly that means? Because I saw it on Facebook, and I'm not gonna lie, I had to look up the definition.
Yeah, I do that too.
When I don't know, I'm not ashamed because I
never be.
If I don't know something, I look it up. Yeah. I'm not one of those that are gonna walk around and be like, I don't know what that means, but I don't want nobody to know.
That's why we have to feel we need a disclaimer for it, because we were taught that we shouldn't ask questions. If you do, then you're dumb. I know. I remember that.
Yes.
Like I remember, I couldn't tell time. Like I didn't know the shorthand for the long hair, and I was almost 13, and I was like, I don't know what that is. Somebody asked me what time it is, and it's one of those clocks. I'd sweat. But eventually I figured out, the shorthand's the hour, the long is the minute. Each of those numbers represent 5, but I needed to find out and break that down. Somehow, I think when I was homeschooling my kids is when I really learned how to tell time.
Wow.
And I never talk about that. That's crazy that came out. So I I ask my higher power, hey, bring out the things that may help somebody. So if somebody out there can't tell time and you're kind of sweating about this thing, just there's
Ask
ways
someone.
to learn.
Yes.
There's ways to learn, even if you could just learn it from a book or watch a video, because sometimes it is embarrassing to ask
Yes.
those questions.
And now with Google, social media, there's so many
Oh my
resources
gosh.
that we
But back in
didn't
the day,
have.
we didn't
have any
You
of
either- I
that.
don't know how old
No.
are you.
No,
I'm
she's
30.
younger.
You're younger.
Yeah,
You're in the
33.
30s. Oh, but you're still like in the same
Yeah.
area of
Yeah.
time frame. But to answer your question, recidivism means basically that a person who goes in and out of jail repetitively
It's like a habitual offender.
over a period of time, especially like they look at it a year to 3 years. If they're constantly in and out, mostly they're looking at the year. If they went in and then they call it recidivate, if they were, got in trouble again for similar crime or something, usually it's really petty too. Honestly, if someone shot someone and they got away with that, they would be out of jail in 11 months versus somebody who's, was selling drugs or was loitering or was yelling
The
at.
system is very screwed
Right.
up.
It's just
Yeah.
crazy. So that's what I'm an advocate for.
Okay.
I would like to, and I am working with different organizations because what I did something. So when I was in grad school, I pretended to be someone getting out of jail. And as I was getting out of jail and trying to look at this book, and I won't say what color it is because it is a book in Lee County, I made all these calls and I went to all these places and no one helped me.
Because they thought you were a felon.
No, not even that. That plus, there was so many processes for qualification. It was ridiculous. I thought, man, I would give up too. You just got out of jail. You don't know where to live.
No.
And the last thing you want to do is be filling out somebody's paperwork, which I agree that they should, right? They should sit down and do that. But sometimes when you're going through stuff, I know even just not being in jail, going through things, I need someone to think for me. I sometimes just want to go into the store. I love it when somebody can just kind of do their job and let me do mine, I guess.
Yes.
It's weird. I can't really come up with an exact example, but you get what I'm saying.
I get it. Like if you go
They
to a
need someone in
store and you're looking for something, but that salesperson comes and be like, hey, what are you looking for? And you tell them, and then they can put stuff together and they're doing their job.
Yes.
And you're there to get something, but they're helping you
Yes.
get. You're not sure what you want, but they're so good at their job that you
They
walk out
guide
of the
you.
store with exactly what
It's
you
just,
needed.
Yeah, that,
Yeah.
all that. Because I was at the post office, gave me a great example. I am trying to buy a gift for my cousin for Father's Day. And I have the gift, everything's in the bag. And I knew there was something missing. I could not put my finger on it. She's like, did you get a card? I said, no, I didn't get a card. I had everything but a card. And in fact, I don't mind a card. I read them if someone gives it to me. I'm not like, oh, this stupid card or anything. But I do feel like it's a waste of paper personally. Like sometimes I just feel like I don't really want to get you a card. I could write it on a note and tell you besides buying that $6 card. But I bought a card and in fact, he deserved a card as well. So when she said that, I was like, thank you so much. I was
Yes.
just, man.
Somebody thought for you.
Yes, she
Yes.
thought for me, and I needed that day. So I hope I answered your question about recidivism.
Yes, you did.
Basically.
Yes.
So prevention and reentry.
Okay.
Reentry is more about them getting housing when they get out, health care. That's two things that they lack the most. And prevention is about just talking to the kids. That's the chewing chats. That's what that's all about. Just having those conversations.
And what ages do you deal with?
So this is what I really don't have. Like, I think kids, we're talking about prevention or reentry?
Prevention.
Prevention.
Well,
Prevention.
Well, I would say
in your
both.
ideal program, what age will you like to service?
So for prevention, I'm thinking 10 to 15, 18, mostly like between 10 and 15, middle school, high school. Right now, that's what I'm serving is the middle school and high school. High school, his age, because I can connect with his friends because they think I'm cool. Right?
And he is your
Do they think I'm
15-year-old son, correct?
Never mind. No one said anything.
Is your mom cool?
Do your friends think I'm cool? They all came to my chewing chat. They were so sweet.
They see my mom as like a boss mom. Like I remember one of my friends was like, "Man, she's so black and beautiful."
Aww.
She was a senior. She just graduated, so she was like, "I want to be like her."
The go-getter.
So you're out here already inspiring kids.
I was working with the Salvation Army. I missed that. So I know that was like my higher power being like, you know what, you still can do this. You don't have to have a place you work for or people that receive you in that way, you can still do this in this way. I got you. Don't worry. And like you said, that being connected or accepted in certain forums, you don't know what that disconnect is. I do think I have one word for it. I think it's lack of trust. I do. That's 2 words. Lack of trust. 3.
It's okay.
Distrust. You know, sometimes it is hard to entrust people with something that's your baby that you've built. I get that, you know, so I do feel like I have to make my own way and trust God along the way that he will bring the right people in the path because I am somebody who's I want to do some things too. So I can stay behind the scenes or help a lot of people, which I've done. You know, I can light somebody up, make them happy and great and feel good about their next step and give them encouragement for all the things they have going on. But when it comes to me, I was feeling like you weren't doing that for you. Why aren't you building yourself up? Why won't you say things that are great and nice to yourself? And I stopped that. I said, you are going to do great, Myrtle. You have to do better. You have to do more because this is something that was given to you. 2019, I got out of college. I was not clinically or chemically depressed. I did take some medication because I was like, I need to get over this hump, whatever this is. Okay. I took time for myself after school because school, after it ended, it was like a huge loss. I don't know if you guys ever read that book called Grief Recovery. Anyway, it's a purple book. It's an awesome book because they really talk about all the types of things that can be construed as a loss and that can bring grief. And I thought, oh, school was in that list, boy.
Well, because you dedicate so much time.
You do. And the teachers
so much
are giving
effort.
you grades.
Yes.
And you're doing good on your papers. You're getting feedback. And it's like now you in the world and you're trying to work and you ain't getting no feedback. Or you don't know what you're doing, if you're doing it right or wrong. And then I was not very socialized at that point either. I kind of hermetized myself to get through it because I'm not, you know, okay, don't say anything negative about yourself. I am not naturally smart in a sense where I don't have to study.
Yes.
I
Me
have
neither.
to study.
I have to study.
I have to read the book.
I have to take notes.
I have to read. I have to take the notes. I have to say the thing and listen to it a couple times in my car. All of that downloads it into me, and I can write a great paper. I can do a bunch of stuff.
Of course.
This is how I intake that information.
And I don't think is that you're not smart. You have a different way of learning.
That's what I was looking for.
Yes,
I
you
know
have
that there's
everybody
learning
learns
styles.
Everybody learns differently. Some people can read something and memorize it.
Yep.
Some people can just skim through stuff and just, you know.
That's me.
Yeah,
see,
my kids are like that too, and I'm just
Not
like,
me.
they don't feel like they have to work sometimes.
I need to, and for me, when I was in nursing school, they have virtual books. I can't do the virtual books. I need to have that
I needed
book.
to go to that library, sit myself
Me
down.
too. I need to
open and
highlight,
touch
take
that book.
notes. Yes, that
Yes.
was me. So I definitely
Now I can
understand
read
that.
a drama on Audible, but when it comes to something I have to learn,
Yep.
child, please, you better listen. I
Let
need to
me
be,
see it.
Yes,
Let
I
me
have this
soak it in
one
with my
saying-
eyeballs.
Yes, I have this saying. Oh, who is it by? See, handy dandy phone.
We can't live without it. I keep telling people.
Ah.
It's like I remember.
It's taking over.
I mean, so I remember I was talking to my daughter because she found herself putting my 6-month-old grandson and the tablet in front of him. And I said, ain't that something? When you were 6 months old, I was just carrying you on my hip while I was cooking and doing everything else I had to do. Because she found herself telling me, Mom, you just don't understand. Like, what you mean I don't understand? I had 3 kids too, and I was still cooking, cleaning, taking care of, working.
But it's
That device, though.
Exactly.
Had it in multiple things.
I didn't have the luxury of having a babysitter in a tablet form, because that's what that is.
What we had was a VTech, and you was on there for like 5 minutes.
I-
Leapfrog, and you was on there for 5 minutes.
I mean, I think my kids, my youngest was the only one that got a leapfrog. The first 2 didn't.
How long you stayed on it?
Not long enough.
Okay, that was the reason why.
Exactly. Well, that's what I'm saying. They have this vast number of technology that they can
At their
utilize
disposal.
at their disposal,
Yep.
and they're still complaining. They're still like, "Oh my God, I can't do this because
Yeah,
the
forget
baby.
it.
I can't do this because."
Y'all gonna
No.
look it up. It's called Hospital for the Mind. I feel
Hospital
like
for
a
the mind?
library is a hospital for the mind. I
Okay.
can't even think of his name, but I love that little phrase because it really was for me that.
Mm-hmm.
Because even afterwards, I was like, okay, don't stop studying. You still need to know what's going on locally. You still need to. I would sit and watch those shows that I don't do it anymore because I kind of feel like they're boring now because I don't have a reason. I mean, there's a reason, but I'm not writing a paper on it or anything like that. So, you know, when they do those open meetings and they're talking with political people, that stuff. I don't sit and watch that anymore, but I used to. I used to sit and watch that. As soon as the kids go to bed, I would just study. Either I stay home, I go to FGCU, or I go to Starbucks, depending on the day. But that's what I did. I focused on studying all the time and taking care of my kids. When I got out of school,
I'm sorry. What is your degree on?
so I have a bachelor's in human services and nonprofit management and a master's in nonprofit management and public administration.
Okay.
So all of that prepares me to run an organization, help other people run organizations, write grants, lead in a capacity of nonprofit work, social enterprise. And so a lot of times I find that when I'm with people or working with someone, most times I feel they want me to kind of be like, stand back there, just help me in private, and in back when we're in public, you do this. I want you over there somewhere. And I could just be intuitively feeling that way. And if someone makes you feel a certain way, you remember that, right? They don't have to actually say it. So I realized, I said, you know, I'm kind of done with that. You know, I don't mind giving and being that person for people. I've done that. And it's not like, for me, bad to go sit in the background, but I also know God is ready for me to stand up and stand out to build, because unfortunately, you really can't do anything without people knowing you.
Of course.
So it's not like, oh, just, you know, I want to say something right now that would seemingly be like false humility. And I'll say that very lightly because I'm tempted to be like, well, I don't want to be seen. I don't know what I want. I just know I want to do this, and I want to do whatever I'm supposed to be doing in this earth. And if you see me while I'm doing it, amen. If you don't, that's fine too. But I'm not trying to hide anymore. You see what I'm saying? Like hiding in that respect. Definitely everything can't be out there all the time for everybody, but I can't be hiding either.
I understand you in ways you don't even realize right now. You're speaking volumes right now. I am so connected with you right now that you have no idea. So remember how I told you that everything was private, and then I made my social media public because I needed to meet people, right?
It's the only way to do this.
Somebody said to me the other day that it seems like I'm looking for attention. And this is the problem that I have with how other people view social media. So we're constantly telling women, be powerful. Women empowerment. Love yourself how you are. Don't listen to social media. And then all of a sudden you see a female that is comfortable in her own skin, that can post pictures with or without selfies. I mean, with or without filters. And making a little more content that she used to because she's trying to promote something. And all of a sudden, it's a problem.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But it goes back to, I would ask them, is it that you feel that I'm seeking attention?
Oh, I feel like people project what they feel.
Or is it because you're wanting to be in that and you see that's where I am and that's where you want to be?
That can be too. And that's why
I guess the heart behind how they said it might be important first. Like, what was it? What was the comment?
That I was seeking social media changed me, and that I was trying to seek attention.
Okay, that does sound, that the context of that doesn't sound too like, it just,
Is it how you said it?
yeah,
That ticked you off?
I don't think that should be said.
I don't
think somebody should say that to somebody.
This is the thing with text content. It could be taken any way.
Yeah,
you
because
want,
that's what I was saying earlier. Like,
so
it depends on how
for
you took
me,
it.
I don't take anything from anybody. I am very secure in myself.
Good.
I know who I am. I know I have a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And I recently found that purpose. And that purpose is to mentor teen parents. Okay? So by whatever means I have to do that, whether it's putting an event so I can raise funds to be able to help these young parents, that's what I'm going to do.
So-
and if I have to make a video and be like, hey, this is Dee Dominguez, da, 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 and I have to post and I have to do this, that's what I'm going to do.
What was your response to her though?
I
Did
didn't
you
respond.
Or did I was gonna say,
I didn't
did it need a
respond. It didn't.
response?
That didn't require a response because their perception of me, in my opinion, was not accurate. So I just left it at that.
Right.
Yeah,
You know,
so-
I think that's
Yes.
it. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Sorry,
so-
it's not my show. To tell somebody, go ahead.
No, you're okay, mom. When it comes to like, do you want attention? I feel like wanting attention is good. You know, because I feel like as people,
Wait, say it again. I
as
missed
people,
it.
Wanting
as human
attention
beings,
is
Wanting
good.
everyone
attention.
wants to be the main character.
Scene.
Everyone should be the main character, the best inside their whole entire world. You know, it's because inside I noticed that when you get too confident, people will always try to bring you down. Like women, kid, man. Because I walk into my school like I own the whole place. Because I will. Eventually.
You walked in here. I told you your presence. No, you walked in and
He has a confidence that I
yes,
did not
and
have
I
at
love
that
that.
age.
I
did not
love
have
it.
that at that
I love
age.
it. And
Did not have it.
to me, that's a great quality to have.
It is.
Because we live in a world where social media tells you you're supposed to look a certain way, you're supposed to act a certain way, you're supposed to have a certain amount of this and that,
Yeah.
and that's not reality.
I don't know if I get that from social media though either. Like I feel like it depends on what we're looking at because I don't really feel like I get that connotation of that desire because you see these pictures and all of our cameras are HD now and you can get a really good picture.
Yeah.
But I think I'm not getting that from them. I just really want to show up a certain way. So, sorry.
I mean,
Saying
the
something.
thing, I mean, I have more of a petty personality.
Petty?
Yeah.
I can be petty too. I think
You know,
we all
I
have a
think
little
I
petty
think
in
it's a
us.
short. You know, we're short. We can't be the bigger
I think
person
we
all
have
the
a-
time.
Right.
I
I'm
mean,
so tired of that.
Even though that comment didn't deserve a respond back, I would have responded back and been like, yes, I am seeking attention because
Yeah,
I
'cause
have a
that's the truth.
purpose.
Yeah,
I
that's the
have a
truth.
purpose, and me seeking attention or what may look to you as seeking attention is going to fulfill my purpose because it's going to bring all
I love
eyes.
that.
I'd rather
I
just
love
show
that.
her.
I love that.
I mean,
So
that
it
too.
depends on the
But
person
sometimes
that
you
comes
have
to
to
you
Yeah.
with it too. Like if
Yeah.
it's your mom, you want to have a conversation with
Of
mom.
course,
Depending
of
on what
course.
circle, and that's where I've come to realize I have to. My energies cannot be spread out so far anymore. And I mean, as a family, and Ethan could attest to this too, we spread ourselves so thin for so long. We were in ministry. We had all these friends. We were mentoring multiple people. We were doing all of these things. And it wasn't, and that is what I got accused of too, because I became a giver. I've always been a giver.
Yes.
Like it's in
Yeah.
my nature to be a giver. But when you start giving, people put you on a pedestal. It's not my fault necessarily. It was the fact that other people were talking about what I was doing. I didn't do that. And I also don't like being put on those pedestals because once you're up on a pedestal,
It's
you can
very
be knocked down
very
very quickly.
easily.
You make
Yeah.
one mistake.
Yep.
Everybody talking about you. You don't care what you're doing good.
Absolutely.
You do that thing that everyone deems wrong, and now that's the
look
end
at what
of
happened
you.
with Will Smith.
I think
That's the
What-
end of you.
one, he's done so many good things.
It doesn't, yeah.
So many, like he's a philanthropist, he's a great actor, he's
Right.
done many things. He did one negative thing, and all of a sudden he's the worst man in the world.
Right.
I think one thing that I think about social media that is not good is how easy they are to cancel someone. You know, like
Yes.
if you're too rich, popular, famous,
That's so perfect.
No, well, see, that's the thing. So every Monday that phone rings, and every Monday we
Or
go
every
through
other
it.
Monday.
Is it on the video?
Well, we don't edit anything.
Keep it.
Yeah,
Yes.
we don't
I
edit
think that's
anything.
so dope.
This
We
is
like
it.
this is
It's
It's like
Parlor
we
Talk.
really in a parlor because I was
Yes.
curious if y'all were really actually in a parlor.
We are
too.
in a real parlor.
So yeah,
Yes,
that's
we're really
good.
we are in a real salon.
salon.
That was a
I
real
did
customer.
hair for many years too.
So
I
you're
did hair.
that's
I was
another
a
hat
lot-
that you had.
Not like chemicals. I only got my braiding license, so I could
Oh,
braid.
nice.
Because, like I said, when I needed to jump in, my husband, he was like, "You don't have to work," but I wasn't used to that. I was
No.
like, "Wait, I don't have to work." Okay, we agreed to it, so it was a conversation. It wasn't like, woman, you ain't gonna work. And I was just like,
I was going to ask
we were
you,
trying to-
do you believe in traditional gender roles?
So at the time I did. Now my thinking, I mean, my son wants a traditional because what he had, he wants what he had. He wants what he saw, what he felt.
Yeah.
And now he sees mom going into the work world. And it's not like, I mean, I had a 9 to 5 too, but even that was like virtual. And I was running all over the place still. I don't do well with traditional jobs, if we could say
Like
that.
clocking in.
Sitting behind a desk or reporting and here it is like that. I don't do well in those kind of situations. But if any job I can have, and it doesn't require me to be on someone's schedule, but I can be appointment based. That's nice. So that's why I ended up doing that because I needed to do something.
What about, and I'm going to go back to you to ask you about that, but what about other traditional roles like the cooking, the cleaning?
Oh, I do all of that, but I also do all the other things I like to do too.
But do you believe that it should be, if the man works, the woman does it, or if you both work, you both cook and clean?
Let me tell you what I believe these days. I believe everybody should do what the hell they want
Yep.
That
in
part.
their own damn household. Stop trying to tell everybody what the hell to do.
About how
Like,
society
damn,
handles
if it works for you, then
It
that's
works for
awesome.
you.
Find somebody that works with.
Yes.
Like me and my husband talked about it. It was a conversation. It wasn't get your behind in there and do. If it's like that, that's not a respectful relationship.
That's not a
it
healthy
should be
relationship.
a conversation. And that was a big thing with the church. They didn't like that we talked about stuff and we made decisions together.
As a
to, in
but
their
you're
as a
supposed
team.
to make decisions
Right,
as
but
a
they didn't
team.
like that. They didn't like that. They thought she's too strong. Let's get her down. Bring her down. Bring her down.
Oh,
she's
no.
too much. Because I'm who I am. I don't know how to be anybody else. And I'm definitely respectful to my husband. However, I'm expecting that he'll help too. Now, will his help be the same? It can't be because he does have the main income. So I do think there should be there just has to be respect in a conversation. Hey, this is getting too much this week. Could you help out a little bit?
Yes.
And if he says yes, amen. If he says he can't, then that's an amen too. We got to figure out another way. Now that the boys are older, we are enlisting them for help too.
Yes.
When he and I were together and they were younger and he had to work out of town and things like that, I didn't have much help. My family doesn't live here. So I'd find ways, and God would always send a friend, a neighbor. That's why I'm really close to all my neighbors. Like my neighbors know me, they love me. I brought them food, they've helped me. And some of them have moved and gone, and we've been there for 14 years.
Wow.
And it's like one of those things where when you need it, I believe things will come to you as they should. But I do believe in traditional, do what you should be doing for your house. What does your kids need? On the way over here, we were talking about my youngest son. What does he need? He gave me Ethan gave me such a great perspective, and who else could give me a perspective like that? I don't need to run around getting advice from everybody who don't know us.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
yeah, I can get some input, and your input is valuable. It doesn't take
But
away
nobody
your
knows you like
value.
somebody that lives
right.
with you.
But he experienced us homeschooling, and he also experienced going to school. And he said, Ma, I really think this, that, there, and the other, that we should do this for him because this is what I experienced, and I felt like it was good for me. When you do this or that, it may help him too. And I said, the other child is a whole different person. He doesn't want to get up and work out every day, but he used to like run cartwheels. But when we put him in school, we saw something change in him. And so my son's advice was the most helpful I've heard. And my husband said the same thing. So what do I now have to do? Because they're not forcing me to do anything. We're a family. We're a team.
Yeah.
So I have to decide if this is something I'm going to go back into or not. And I'm guessing based on what I'm saying, you could tell it's probably homeschool that they're saying that he should have because of his personality and what he might need. But then I got to look at my resources and get a support group and probably jump into an actual group this time versus doing it virtually. I have to really think about this because it's something I'm heavily considering. But
I
it's
think
my household.
I think it's amazing that you gave the opportunity to your 15-year-old to give you
gosh.
advice, because the way we were raised, that would have never.
I told you the song my mother used to
That
sing.
would have never happened. So you wanted to talk about traditional roles. What is your opinion on traditional roles? I mean, you're too young to think about marriage or anything like
Oh,
that.
he's not too
I'm
young.
thinking
He's
about it
already
right now.
thinking about it.
Surprisingly mature for my age.
Okay, I like that.
He sounds just
So
so,
can I say
like,
something really quick? Him coming into himself has made me, not at this moment, but extremely uncomfortable. And I had to check myself and ask myself why. If he can stare me, he can look me in the eyes, I was getting mad over stupid stuff, and I realized he's just looking at you. Taught him to look at you. You said, "Look at
Look at
mommy
me."
when you
Yeah.
talking," and now he does it, and you're upset. What the hell is wrong with you, young lady? I had to tell myself because I grew up seeing women whipping and beating their boys, and I said, "I will not." Not in this house will my sons feel like slaves. Right. Will they get beat down and beat up for what? Because they looked at you, because they said something you ain't like. No, thank you.
Wow.
I'm raising men. So yeah, he's confident when he walks. But I said, I helped do that. I could take some credit for it, but I think some of it is just his innate personality too.
I think that most of it
genes.
does come from you, though.
Aww.
You ain't getting no money when we leave.
All right. So, what are your thoughts on traditional roles?
Well, what I've experienced and I've noticed that me and Aaron are a lot like different than most kids, because most kids in our schools have one mother or have one father, have one of each parent. You know,
They're single
I
parent
feel like-
households.
I feel like for me, I would like a traditional, because
What is traditional for you?
traditionals for me is the man works, the woman's at home homekeeping.
Okay.
Because for me, I feel like a woman will make something better than it already is. Everything's better with a woman.
Oh my God.
But
Wait. How old are you again?
I'm 15 years old
I
now.
want to ask you this question. You get like 10 more years.
He's experienced some crazy girls already, though, because I told my boys they need to date. I said, you need to date so you know what you like. Not have sex. That's a whole different story.
Yeah, that's a whole
I'm saying date. Let's teach, because they saw like real dating. We talk about what dating looks like. It means going out, doing
Having
things together,
fun.
spending time
Getting
in
to know
open
people.
areas. You
Yeah.
don't have to be in a
I
closed room
learned
sucking
that I
on
don't
each
like-
other.
You learned
Look
that
at me
what?
getting all passionate.
I learned that I don't
tried to
like
hold
women that
back.
are always at home doing nothing, or
Okay.
like just like cleaning. You know, so my thinking of traditional would be me going to work, having a amazing job, because if I am to just me being working and her taking care of the kids, I would want my woman to be able to do whatever she wants.
Okay.
You know, but for me, I experienced
wanna
my
marry him.
mom being home for most of the time,
Okay.
and my dad being out. So I didn't really see all the issues of my dad. I just knew already that my dad's out there working all
Okay.
the time. He's out there working, and I'm a man too, so that's what I should do. You know?
Okay.
And my mom, very ambitious lady, always wanting to do things, but I noticed that my dad, he did make mistakes at like near my age, you know. So mommy didn't get to do everything she wanted to do, but I do feel like as a man, I should be able to go out. My women should be able to make my things that I have better than they already are.
Okay.
It's like my kids, you know. I want like my kids to respect women, love them, no matter what they see inside school.
Okay.
If I didn't have my mom, I think I would hate women inside school. You know?
Okay.
Because women are allowed to hit your guys, talk bad to them. I walk up strong, and then people call me
Cocky.
misogynistic.
Oh, okay.
They call me
Cocky
misogynistic,
too,
narcissistic for doing nothing, just because I'm strong and I walk up straight.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they say,
And you
"Oh,
don't
look,
sag your
it's in-"
pants. That part too.
He does sometimes. They fall a little bit, but they're not way down his butt.
I try
have
not
tell
to
him, remind
sometimes.
him,
Well,
bring
what
him
I,
back
what
up.
what
I know
what
what you
the
mean,
the
though.
viewers can't
Yeah.
see right now because you're not in camera. But like I said, when
He's
you
on
walked
camera.
in here,
He's camera.
you
He's camera.
walked in. He's on camera. Okay,
He's on camera.
you
Oh.
look very presentable. You look like you got your shit together.
I
You
try
know
At
what
to.
I'm saying?
15.
At 15.
At
I
15.
didn't realize that you were 15 when you walked in. And
We
that
kind
is
of run our house like a business, even though we don't all do business. My husband is a traditional worker. I am an entrepreneur. So something I'm doing is gonna do well, and they're
Okay.
doing now. Him and my husband are working on things that I wouldn't really be into because they have to do with numbers. But they're doing things because we're all like, we don't really want to be anyone's 9 to 5 forever. Like we just don't like. And I think people get all crazy when you start talking like that and being a little heavy with the way you decide to live, because they feel something. I don't like that kind of talk, that they feel something. I don't know what they feel. All I know is that they're butting into a space that's not theirs, and they don't understand it enough to explain what I'm thinking. So I don't want to tell you what you're thinking. So please don't try to tell me what I'm thinking. And so it's hard, but I do think it depends on what the person's doing. So like I've been, when I was listening to, I had a interview with Mr. Lee Pitts live. He's been in television for 30 years. Of course I'm gonna listen to what the hell he's saying, because he's been in television for 30 years. He's doing something right. Whether people think, whatever they think about him, you cannot say that he hasn't been in real television for 30 years.
Yeah.
And I feel the same with the Tate brothers. I listen to them sometimes, and that's where I got my idea for when I wanted to do it with me and my brother.
Mm-hmm.
I want me and my brother to live together most of our lives, because that's the Indian people do.
What is the age difference between you and your brother?
4 years.
Okay.
But I feel like me and Aaron are so different that we make up for each other's achings.
You blend.
Yes, like I have a hard time feeling emotion at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but my brother's more of that person that will explain that. Like, I might say something that seems very controversial. My brother understands it,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like I feel like every single most Americans have a hard time with their siblings. I've seen that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, I need to get away from my sibling. I need to separate, because I need to be independent by myself. I don't need anyone's help. But I feel like with the Pakistani people do.
Mm-hmm.
They go to England, the UK.
Mm-hmm.
They go with their sibling. They live together. Their families together. Their wives they live with their wives in the same house. So guess what? If they do traditional lifestyle, less cleaning, less cooking, less anything with them,
Because
they
it's
can buy
shared.
Yes, and then they can buy a nice sports car. People thinking that they're rich and stuff, but no, they just have more than one income of a higher rate.
Got it.
Because imagine having two of my dads. We'll be able to buy a like a big nice car.
Yeah.
You know,
We actually do
Yeah.
have a big, nice car.
I mean, like even
You
big-
actually do have a nice
Of course,
car,
yes.
by
Yeah.
the way.
But
Y'all
imagine
pulled
having
up
two.
in here, and I was like, wait a minute. That is a nice
And
car.
that was a big thing for me because when we first got in the house, got a car, I felt that feeling of survivor's guilt. And it was so hard. Even getting a car, I was like, oh, honey, why did you buy such a big, loud car? Like, now I'm okay with it. But I tell you the truth, it was difficult at first. And I wondered and asked myself, why? Because everybody's thinking, well, why are you spending that kind of... I mean, literally, people that don't have any... Not helping you with anything. Not helping
basically
you with
everybody, because
anything.
nobody pays your bills.
Right.
Yeah.
I was at a parking lot at Key Foods one day, and this guy, he was kind of side conversationing me, saying, "Ooh, that's a beautiful, nice, but I can't pay for that." I said, "Well, you could pay for this. Why wouldn't you be able to pay for that? You gonna wait till 80 years old to start trying to jump up into a Jeep? Ain't gonna happen. You might as well get one now." And his wife was like, "I said, you're probably putting that money somewhere else. While I have it in my Jeep, you have it somewhere else. So why does it matter where I'm putting my money if you're not helping me?"
Exactly.
And that's why I said to him, because he was like, "Well, I can't do that because of something." He had some excuses. It was a Spanish guy. And his wife was just smiling because I kind of broke it down to him like, I gave him permission to buy his damn Jeep. I gave him permission. You like it? Buy one.
Yeah.
Like, don't be looking at me like, why you spending that money? It's my money. It's
That's what I
our
said.
hard
That's what
money.
I said about people before. That girl, she's projecting her own feelings. Every time
Yeah.
somebody makes a comment like that is because of their own insecurity.
Yeah.
So for me, I have that problem too, because I remember one time I was on vacation with my husband. We were in Cabo, and I was posting pictures and
Oh, you told
videos
me
and
this,
stuff.
okay. Go ahead.
And somebody mentioned, DM me and was like, "Man, must be nice to be rich.
I'm glad you brought this up because
You're
I
always-
think I want to.
You're always
something with you.
traveling, and you always did it. Must be nice." And
should
it
be
was
like, "Yes."
it was a family
That's what I was
member.
going to tell you.
It was a
She's like,
family
yes,
member.
I am nice. So follow what I'm doing.
So I told my husband, I showed my husband, I was like, "Look what this person," I'm like this is like, it really bothered me.
See,
that
that's what I
bothered
wanted to
me.
talk to you about.
What?
I don't think it should bother you, Dee.
So
because
this-
it's the same kind of feeling. So is there's two situations similarly. Somebody is saying to you, you think this, and you should be like, yes, I'm trying to get attention. I hear what she's saying. Is I would have challenged that thing because say what it is. Because are you afraid of being? And I'm not coming for you, baby.
No,
'cause you know I love
no.
you. But are
Listen,
you afraid of being living out loud, Dee? Don't be
I-
afraid of
it
living
takes
out loud.
So much for me to get offended, hurt. Like
But you just got offended by that. That's what
No,
I'm
no,
saying.
yeah, so
you got
that-
offended by these two things that these girls were saying.
that was a
and I'm
couple of
assuming they're girls. It could be guys. See,
that
It's a hot
it was
mess.
girls. That was years ago, the Cabo thing, and I went and I did a Instagram video with my husband because I wanted to clarify something.
Soft hands, by the way.
Oh,
My hands can be so soft. I want soft hands.
I wanted to clarify something, and not because I felt like I owe anybody anything,
Right.
but I like to teach. I like to take moments and teach and give advice.
I think that's what she was saying that
Yes,
you should have
so-
done with this situation. But there was a reason you did it.
Yes. So for me, at that particular time, because it was a younger family member, and I wanted to let them know all these flights that I go on, all these places that I go on, it took years of me sacrificing and working
Why
to
do you
get
have to explain?
not explain, but I think
You
with the exception of
you
your
do explain because you
I
did
do it, but I did it.
because
I
you
do
did
it
in our group
as
chat.
a learning tool because
Okay.
I feel like the
You have a
younger
reason.
generation don't really understand the word sacrifice. Your son is an extreme exception.
I think no, he struggles with this
Okay.
that too. Like he is a lot of great things, but he also has those other teen
Nobody's
things that
perfect.
Right,
Nobody's
and I don't
perfect.
expect that or want that perfection. I think that was the religion I grew up in, thinking I needed to be a certain way and perfect this whole thing with God and everything. But it's impossible to be perfect. That's why He gave us free will
And
But I think
grace.
some things, yes, and grace, we don't understand it.
Yeah.
And I'm understanding it now. But I do think like there's so much embedded in us from growing up that all of us are questioning everything. So I can't say that my feelings aren't hurt if someone says something that makes me feel like they are if they're receiving me wrong. I don't
Yeah.
want to be received wrong. However, I can't sulk over it all night either.
Exactly.
However, I do know that there's a feeling I get when someone's perceiving me the wrong way. So that's why I was just gonna say is like own it, like be like vulnerable and own it. Like yeah.
And I think it's based on too like the situation at hand.
Right.
Because there's some things that I'm gonna take it the wrong way if you're perceiving me wrong because my intentions are pure. But then there's some things that I don't care. Take it as it is, and yes, I'm seeking attention because I have a podcast or because I have a nonprofit
Why we
or
need this
because I have
attention?
a
We need
purpose.
attention.
Exactly.
We need this.
So
we live
at
in
the
we
end
live
of the
we
day,
live in a world where
social-
social media
That's why I
drives
said what I
everything.
said when I
Social
first got
media
here.
is such a presence now. And you make money off of the social media more than a 9 to 5 because
If you stick
we
with it.
all know I'm on a 9 to 5 that I'm trying my best to get the fuck out of because I'm done.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yes, I'm going to seek whatever attention that I need to seek. No, I'm not gonna flash my tits or show my ass
But
to
what
get
if somebody
the
wants to
attention.
do that? That's their business.
Yes.
I
think.
mean, that
I
is
feel
their
like
business.
if
That's
that's
just
not your
mine.
thing, but that might be their thing.
Yeah.
And that's
Yes.
my biggest point I'm trying to make to just the world around us. We all are minding each other's business, but nobody's helping anybody.
Exactly.
I can't
Correct.
come to anybody and ask them to pay my mortgage. I can't come to anybody ask them to pay my car note or help me with my kids. Now,
Yep.
maybe I could come ask them, but do I truly want that person's help?
No.
Probably not.
No, because they're gonna when you ask for help monetarily.
Now they can really
now
be
they
all up
can
in their
really be
business.
in your
No,
business.
Thank you. And that's
Yeah,
what
no.
I went through. I went through a lot of that. And a lot of times it is some family members, people that are close to you, because familiarity breeds contempt. So they don't see you that way. Same thing happened with Jesus. Isn't that the carpenter's son?
Yes.
Didn't he come with Mary? Wait, Mary, the Immaculate Conception, she didn't even sleep with Joseph yet before Jesus was born. So what that's about? They look, can anything good come from Nazareth? That's what they did.
Yep.
That's what the Pharisees did. We got to remember, this is ancient foolishness.
It's not
this
new.
is not something
So
very
bullying has
new.
been around since before
Child,
Jesus.
Yes, girl. Before Jesus,
Yes.
when Jesus first walked on the scene, and I speak from that reference because I know that I didn't even want to cuss or use a bad word. My son still gets on me because I'm like, well, you can listen to Andrew Tate cuss. You can listen to that music they cussing, and I can't cuss. See, I looked it up before I started cussing again because I enjoy cussing personally.
You didn't enjoy?
I do enjoy
Okay,
cussing.
me,
I
I
used to
could've-
cuss like a sailor, but I knew it was too much. I think anything in excess is
Excess
an
is too
issue.
much. Yep.
If I'm using only cuss words all the time, I mean, I'm not going to be any substantial in my conversations with you. But if I feel like a cuss word is well placed and I need it and I'm going to use it. My cousin think I can't cuss, but I'm learning. And I'm really trying to make sure I place them well, the different words. And do I want my kids cussing in public? No. So the thing is, how do I fight that? And I say, you know, if my kids cuss, I do. I used to put salt in their mouth. I mean, not salt, sorry. Wasabi and soap. Not
remember
salt,
that.
but salt is a good
How
idea.
many times did you get
I don't
it?
think salt would have worked for Aaron because
I
he
was
loves
never
salt.
really a cusser. I
No,
never-
he didn't cuss.
it
He
was my
stuck
little
his tongue
brother.
out at me
Okay.
once, and
She
we dealt
flipped
with that. He was the good one in the terms of like Aaron pushed every boundary because if Ethan, I say, you want to leave, no, mommy, no. Aaron, you want to leave? He gets his
Yeah.
stuff and he gets out. He's like, I'll talk
I'm
to you
out.
later. I got this. You 5. Seriously? So you know how you get to those moments as moms and you're like, this is so much. Oh, y'all don't want to listen to me? And I was listening to Michelle Obama and she said it. I said, oh my gosh, we're all the same. We're just in different parts of life. Just because she was the president's wife doesn't mean that she didn't feel a moment where she was like, you know, y'all need any parents. Because I've said that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Y'all obviously don't need parents because I've been giving y'all advice to do this. And I said, go get ready for bed and you're not. So I'm gonna resign. And then she said that. She said she was gonna resign. And you know, while one kid is like, I'm gonna handle it and do it what I'm supposed to do, go brush my teeth and go to bed. The other one's like, you finally figured it out that you really don't have this together. Thank you. I know what I'm doing.
Yes.
Even though I'm 7 or 5.
So what is your opinion on gentle parenting?
So I believe that I have not been the gentlest parent over the years. I got my aha many times and I still get it because of what I saw growing up. So not to blame the women of old and the people I saw hitting their sons.
Well, they did what they
sons.
knew best.
They thought that was right, you know, and they thought, well, my mother was a single mom, so I'm going to be the father and the mother, and I'm going to do what I need to do. And she thought it would work. But my mom didn't have all the resources I have at hand today. So I don't really feel like I can give myself an excuse to be anything but loving. Now, I can't say, because everybody's gentle is different.
Yeah.
While you hear me, I'm projecting, I'm a little bit more
Energetic.
yeah, I'm not gentle because of all those things, right? And so I am now worried. When I always see that, I get worried. I don't know how to wrap it up. I'm gonna try to wrap it up. Y'all wrap it up for me.
We'll let you finish.
So thank you.
No.
So
Like
you
we
can
told
cut
you.
it if
No.
you need to.
We don't edit nothing.
Okay.
That's him letting us know that
we
we can
gotta
start
close.
slowing down.
Okay.
But
Y'all chill.
Yeah.
Okay. That's where that whole, I can hear, and sorry, Mom, I do love you, and I do think you did a lot of things great. But that one thing, you talk too much, I think I just caught that today while I was in the car. I was doing something with someone, and I had a meeting. Oh, I spoke at an event. It was my first, like, real speaking engagement type thing. And I do see myself as a speaker. I think someday I'm in the process of rolling that thing out now.
Yes.
I don't know how it's going to
You're gonna
transpire,
speak
but
it
it's
into
going to happen.
existence.
Right. But I think that speaking fast, thinking if I say it fast enough, I'll get all of what I need to say out before I say it. I realized today when I came on, I said, I want to be relaxed, God. I want to give. I want to do. They didn't ask me to come on here so I can explain all my flaws and all the ways that I need to work on and things I need to do. But that's helpful, right? But I can still walk in this thing. I've spoken a couple of times now. Relax, chill. Take a chill pill. My kids tell me, chillax, Ma. Chillax, bruh. So when I have moments with my kids where I feel like they're out of line, gentle parenting is very difficult. Ethan could answer that question, but I would say yes and no. It just depends on how
Depends
I'm
on the
feeling in that
situation.
moment. Because I have to sometimes, I say, listen, I'm going to pause because I don't like how you just said that. Now, I get that you are trying to explain something, so right now may not be the time for that.
Exactly.
Can you talk to me later?
Yes.
Because, I'm still a prideful mom. I'm like, my kids are talking down to me. I can talk to them like that in private. I don't mind them talking to me about how they feel.
Yes.
I'm not one of them, let me shut you down in front of everybody, make sure everybody know that you the son and I'm the mama. I don't want to be that mom, and I try not to. I can't say I've never.
And it's a learning process.
Right. But I think, Ethan, I don't know, would you think how I'm doing with that? Because I took a break from yelling for like 3 months.
Okay.
I did. I was like, no more yelling.
How hard was that?
I ran to the room, I cried and I prayed. I ran to the room, I cried and I prayed. I would just do it because I was homeschooling these kids. I didn't want to mess them up.
Yes.
I was so afraid of messing them up. I said, I need them to be right up here when they leave here. Forget about now because they're going to be adults way longer. Because I had the experiences of people being so mean in their words. So that's why I'm like, I want to speak good things into people's life. And if I can go out in these streets and talk nice to people, I need to be in this house talking nice to these people.
That part.
Because I have a husband, I have 2 sons. I mean, I'm blessed to raise 2 men.
And
That's huge because they're going to be heirs.
I
of
feel-
And not
I
only
feel-
that-
I feel too that as single moms, I'm not a mom myself, but overhearing single parents and talking and them raising boys, like, yes, you get overwhelmed, and yes, it's hard because I watch my mom raise us
Right.
as a single parent, and I was a tough child.
Mm-hmm.
But to remember that eventually, when you let go of the reins, that's someone's husband, that's someone's
That's what I be
wife,
thinking.
that's
I'm afraid of all that if
someone's
I don't do right.
something, and the damage that you're mentally causing
Mm-hmm.
can kick all of that and
Make it
have
worse.
damage
And not only
for
that,
their future, for the rest of their lives.
not only that, but
But
realistically
there's a piece I wanna
speaking,
say something to
you're
that,
not
too.
just raising two men, you're raising two black men in this world.
That deep, right
Because let me tell
that
you, it's
part.
not the same.
there. That part.
It's not the same.
That part.
Because we live in a society where the color of our skin
They're not
makes
used
a
to
difference.
him being. Now, a lot of people are complimentary of him being who he is, but I kind of feel like, and I'm not gonna speak that into existence. However, I know people are uncomfortable with confident black men.
Yes.
Yes.
They're very they're okay
Yes.
if you're a subservient black man.
Yeah.
But if you are a confident black man,
Confident, intelligent.
yeah, we went through a lot of that with our church because there was a lot of white men and hardly any black men, and we were the only black couple. Both people are black.
I have an example of that actually.
Okay.
It was actually during school. Remember when I got suspended?
Yes.
So it was just after midterms. You know, someone called me or someone texted me on my phone. I took out my phone. You know, I got 0 for the test.
It was
but
me.
I got an A. But I got an A for the test, but I got a 0 for it because I took out my phone.
Okay.
Instead of accepting it, because that would have made me fail that class, I asked my teacher if I could. Hey, can I read the test? Because I know you could. I asked her as if I knew I couldn't. She said, "No, Ethan, you can't." And I said, "Ma'am, I know I can. I'll be back here tomorrow, and I'll ask you again." So I did that for knowing that if I went there for 5 days, I would get suspended because for whatever.
That's
I
just
went
the
there for
rule.
4 days, knowing that if I went there for another day, I would get suspended. But the 5th day, I didn't go. A person came and said I was harassing her. They said I harassed her and threatened her with my mom, I guess. Because I said, I don't want my mom to have to come in here and we have to talk about this.
She took
because
that completely out of
I would
context.
be
Yes.
embarrassed.
He was
of my mom
serious.
coming. I was so serious. I was like, ma'am, I don't want my mom to have to come in here loud. Because I've seen what she's done before in some other schools. I was like, it will be like emotional wreckage everywhere. Yeah, but that
As
was my...
she should, because she is
Yeah.
your
Listen,
protector. She is
listen.
They don't
Mama
like me
Bear.
either when I come because what I would do is give a lot of gifts and stuff. But if I have an issue, I'm going to talk about the issue.
Of
And a lot
course.
of times people don't want to talk about
A lot of
issues.
people are scared to have conversations, tough conversations. And for me, one of the biggest things is let's
Thank you for
talk
sharing
about it.
that. Yeah,
Let's
that's
talk
how-
about it.
I can be a friend to somebody who can talk through
Yes.
something. Not that we should be always arguing and fighting. No, I get
no.
that. But if we were wrong in some way, I just want to admit it or have you at least
Absolutely.
say sorry. Like, there's got to be some way. How else will you know how to work with me if you don't know what bothers me? It's not all the
Exactly.
time.
Exactly.
You know I'm sensitive. Why do stuff to make it more worse? If I know something about you, I'm not going to on purpose do those things again if I know. But if you don't
If you
tell
don't know
me,
exactly, how am I
Just
supposed
just
to
being
know?
myself.
Absolutely.
But
So
sometimes I
if
get
me
ignored to
being
deal with it.
myself offends you, I'm not gonna stop being myself. But maybe
We
I
can
can
adjust
make
some things. I'm
adjustments.
cool with that.
But if I don't know, I don't know.
You really don't know. It's a don't know thing.
Yes. Well, guys, listen, I am so glad that I met you today. I think it was a blessing. I think you're amazing. I think you're at a great path to becoming an amazing
Stay on
Man.
the path.
stay
That's
on
what I
that
tell them.
path.
It's the right people. Hang out with the right people. 'Cause
Yes.
the wrong people will have you
Absolutely.
down
I
the
used to
wrong
laugh at
road.
my mom and my grandma when my grandma used, in Spanish, there's a saying, dime con quién andas y te diré quién eres, which translates
pretty.
to, tell me who you hang out with and I'll tell you who you are.
Ooh.
Yes.
And I used to say, that's not right. That's not true because I hung out with a lot of gangbangers, people that were selling drugs, people
I
that
did
were
that too.
smoking and drinking, but I didn't do any
Yeah,
of
right.
it.
I actually have...
You know? So to me, that wasn't real. But as an adult, I can tell you, your circle
As an adult, yeah, it does
can
affect things.
either bring you up or hold you down.
I actually have a little secret I do to find my people.
Okay?
I only talk about one thing. If I'm with people, I always talk about money because that's what I want. I want to become rich. If they're talking about video games, I talk about, oh, I could buy that and I can make that, I can sell that, and then if they dismiss that, I know I don't need to talk to them anymore.
That part. You know what? I'm gonna go close Parlor Talk on that. If I talk to you about money, about progressing, about building, and you don't want to talk about that, then you're not in my circle.
It's work. It's
Yes.
work. Why would we hold ourselves to a standard, not our friends around us?
I always want to be the smaller person in the room, because that means that I can learn from whoever,
that too,
and I can
but I
grow.
also want to sometimes be the other person in the room too. Like, I think that's healthy too, because what do they say? If you have someone you're mentoring and someone mentoring you, so I always want a mentor, but also I don't want to take all this 42 years of knowledge, which I forgot that I have, because sometimes you think, well, I was a kid, but you have all this experience you bring to the table. There's somebody you can help too.
Absolutely.
But I know what you mean, the lazy folks. You don't want to be in a room with a bunch of lazy people.
You don't want to have to carry somebody on your back.
Give everybody your social medias, where to find you, your business website, so they know where to go.
So I'm still working on a website, but everything is Myrtle October on all social media platforms. You can find me. If you want to book me to sing, I sing too. It's just that.
Oh, you want to show us a little something?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Show us a little something.
You want me to get up and stand or just sit here and sing?
So,
like a city
how
singing?
about we'll have her close us out? Let me do mine, and then we'll have you close us out with a song.
Sounds like a good idea. You want music too, or just a cappella?
A cappella,
Okay,
girl,
let's
because
do
your
it.
voice
It's your
is
girl,
powerful.
Enya Phoenix. Catch me on all social media platforms. Remember, this is Parlor Talk, the conversation behind the hair. And we are looking for sponsors, as always. Please hit us up. We are wanting to grow, to spread more conversations with everybody. And we're going to be working on a big or semi
Everything's big, honey.
We have some stuff brewing. We're
semi
cooking. We
project
have some
that's
stuff
going to
on
be
the
coming
pot.
up for you guys. See you guys next Monday.
I'm Dee Dominguez. Guys, this is Parlor Talk. Thank you so much for chiming in. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share. That is the way that you can help us grow, and it doesn't cost anything. And we are going to have our amazing guest take us out with whatever she wants to sing.
I'll do something.
All right, go ahead.
I don't need you to love me. I don't need you to love. I've got my sister. I can feel her now. She may not be here, but she's still mine, and I hope she know I still love her. Got my house, still keeps the cold out. Got my chair where my body can't hold out. Got these hands doing good like they supposed to. Showing my hand to the folks that I'm close to. Got my eyes, though they don't see as far now. They see more about how things really are now.
Yes.
I'm gonna take a deep breath. Hey, gonna hold my head up, put my shoulders back.
has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system. At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
I do believe that there should be one flexible parent to be able to handle the things that come with being a parent. Because there's somebody that has to go to the 9 to 5 or has the heavier schedule, and there's somebody that should have a looser schedule, so that way they can stop, start, and begin for their kids and be there for their kids. I do feel like that's a big part of why recidivism is so strong, because kids don't have those active parents. If somebody's working all the time, there's no one that can really be there for the kid when the situations come, or to have those long talks, lectures, or spend that time with kids. Kids need time. They need somebody to spend time with them. They need somebody to believe in them, talk to them, build with them. Whether it be a mom or a dad, somebody needs to be doing it. And whether it be a blended family or a family that doesn't have traditional marriage, the parents should still be friends or connected or stay in touch or be together, or some male or female figure in their lives, whether it be friends or family members who are very much active in those roles. So that's when I said I believe people should do whatever the hell they want. In my opinion, that was just talk about what is needed, what will work, and how can we make it work. I don't believe a man should do it or a woman should do it, but I do believe something has to be done. Somebody has to take care of the house. Somebody has to cook. Somebody has to be available. That's why I think our systems are so broken as it is, because there's not many people thinking through what and who will take care of these kinds of things. Hope you're doing well. Thank you guys so much for the platform. I really appreciate you. Bye.